If you're on top in the closed guard, it usually favors the bottom guy.
Okay.
You're in a bad position. In MMA, I think it's the opposite.
Yeah.
It favors the top guy.
You're losing points.
Yeah.
Sit in there. That's for one.
Exactly. Unless your guard is, badass and you're like this world champion. All right, guys, welcome back. So now we're going to explore another technique with my friend Marshall. He has some really good questions about passing the closed guard. So Marshall, go ahead and ask the question.
I just, because when I roll and especially if they have long legs, the moment they get that closed guard and lock it up, it's like one, I'm not sure really how to pry the legs open without getting caught in like a triangle or arm bar or something. So can you show at least like 3 different ways to pass a solid closed guard?
Of course. All right, on your back. So the more typical ways, let's first talk about the lens of jiu-jitsu. Are we looking at a sport or an MMA?
Right now, let's look at sport jiu-jitsu.
Okay, sport jiu-jitsu. All right, sport jiu-jitsu, I'm not getting striked. There's no strikes. I'm not getting punched. I can take my time. But like everything, there's a trade-off. In MMA, you can get strikes. Jiu-jitsu is usually weaker, okay? In sport competition, they're not throwing strikes, but jiu-jitsu is a lot better, tighter, more technical, faster. So you have to be more methodical. In MMA, you just have to really have a good strategy and be well-rounded in your area, right? And so that's when you see some fighters get really good at one area and then just polish the other areas, their weaknesses. And then they do the same thing if they're strikers. They get decent at ground. If they're ground people, they get decent at striking so they can go to the ground. So we're in a sport competition. He's breaking my posture. He's doing a great job. It's very hard to get out of here. So what I want to do is really aim underneath the bicep armpit area, and I'm going to push up like this. Now, whether I'm on my toes or underneath the toes, doesn't matter. They both have advantages, and I've been taught both. This gives me a lower base, and it's stronger. This lets me push into you more, but my butt's a little higher. So what I do from here is I'm going to do what I call credit card slide. That's how you break the guard open. You're literally sliding the credit card with your knee up their butt. And the way I'm going to do this, for me, it's easy because I have short legs, but even if you're taller, I'm going to walk. And now as I walk, the more I walk, the easier it is to get my butt into that credit card slide position.
Okay.
So now that I'm here, I'm going to use my hands and push down. Do not point your knee to a knee cut, because all Henry has to do is pivot his hips that way, and I'm swept, and I lose a position. So point the knee to the outside. And guess what? It connects to the position that we showed in the last video, where we get to come in and start passing this way.
Gotcha.
Okay, so one more time. We're in this position. I go underneath. This also prevents him from holding the back of my head. He can still hold it, but not as strong. So when I come in and I pin him, I walk, I bring that knee to credit card slide, I have a wide base. Look at how it already opens. I stay very tight here and I drop with him. Now look, when I push the knee down, my knee points to the outside, heavy crossface, good underhook, pass the guard, and I pass. Because it's competition, I can stay back here, right, and hold and maybe advance my position for a submission.
Okay.
For MMA, it's a little different. Come back real quick. For MMA, we do a lot of the same things. The only difference now, I have gloves. He has gloves. We're sweaty. We don't have rash guards. We're without our shirts. And it's 5-minute rounds, so it's a little bit faster pace. So let's say I go, as I stand up, he has every right to upkick me. So I have to be very careful. And so when I do this position, I want to start coming in here. If he drops to upkick me, I stay very low. And now my knee's on the ground because I'm playing by the rules. He can't upkick me now. So now I can start working here. Another thing you can do as you're trying to do this, I can use the top of my head, especially if he's right near a cage, top of my head underneath his chin to smother him against the cage. Now this is very annoying. At the same time, look what I do. I throw strikes. Throw strikes, and I come back to base. I do it again. I'm winning points with the judges. I'm in control, and I technically don't have to pass the guard. And when I'm ready and he feels frustrated, then I do the same thing, start to credit card slide again, and stay super tight. Maybe I'm here, maybe I stay to half guard and pepper him some more before I pass. So completely different game plan. Very similar approach. We're just doing different things with that technique.
Yeah, and that's why like someone like Michael Bisping will talk about like playing jiu-jitsu and MMA, where like the goal should be to get back to your feet.
Absolutely.
Like from like the moment you the moment you elevate, like rather than trying to keep the guard closed, disengage and try to get back up to your
Absolutely.
feet. Yeah.
And that's why if you notice, by me putting the top of my crown underneath your chin and pinning your arms, I'm forcing you to back out away so you can't escape.
Right.
Especially if you're behind a cage. And I can punch you, win the judge's favor a little bit. It looks dominant, it looks good. If there's action going on, I'm trying to pass at the same time. It's a great position.
Okay.
There's other ways to pass.
Yeah, like, because like, what if the person has like really strong legs and you have like, I don't know, bigger legs like me, and you can't slide it into that.
Yeah.
Like, what's another way you could pass?
Okay, so before we go to the other way, we could talk about these details real quick. Even if they have super tight legs, yeah, super tight, the more I walk, the more my knee could get behind your butt. So if I'm not be able to reach here, I just keep going and I go behind the butt right there.
Okay.
And do you feel how uncomfortable that is?
Right.
So now I push.
Okay.
That's a little detail. So
Okay.
people are like, oh, my long legs. Obviously, like I said, it favors me because I have short legs. People are like, oh, my long legs, I can't get them underneath. You keep walking.
Keep walking.
If that doesn't work, there's other guard passes. It's real simple. So again, competition setting, no strikes. I'm postured, I'm taking my time, but I'm very methodical in my approach. And now all I'm gonna do is basically shift. So I was in my base, my knee came behind your butt, and I shifted. This is keeping your hip low, this is keeping your chest low, so you can't break my posture and come up. You can't pick your hips up to armbar triangle.
Okay.
Now from here, I use my right hand this way, almost like I'm feeding the triangle. But I'm not, because my elbow is out. If you do try to triangle me, okay. But let's say you don't and you're really, really stubborn with the feet, then I just start working my way to the inside.
Okay.
And now I can start approaching, and now we just work a basic stack pass from here. I'm able to double under, I come all the way around, stack pass that way. If I were to go the other way, as I stack pass, right, I can really make it uncomfortable for you here. No strikes, so you can't hit me, so I'm fine. Come in, leg drag, whatever I want.
Okay.
If we're talking with MMA perspective, similar dynamic, punch, smother up. When I'm ready, let's say you grab my gloves, my elbow's gonna come. Well, it doesn't matter, so if you do that, look, so let's say you control both hands. So look what I do. I tuck in, and elbow comes.
Right.
And come back, and elbow comes, just to make you respect that. So at some point you have to let go and frame. And so when you do that, I start moving. I come in, my knee is still down, so he can't knee me. So I can bring this here and start working my pass. If I go the other way, same thing. I come in, my elbow's this way. I wouldn't stand up because of MMA, because if I stand up, now you can up kick me.
Right.
I would stay here. And just drive forward, stay on your knees, come this way, pass, and then you have a cleaner position to kind of take advantage of that.
Okay. Gotcha.
And there's other ways. You want to see another one? Okay. Another way, be very careful with this one. Competition, this works great. You see this a lot in the gi. They grab the collar. Here I don't have that luxury. I'm gonna stand up. And I'm gonna stand up opposite to the arm that's on the sternum. Because if I go to, same side. Because if I go opposite, you could underhook and armbar.
Oh, right.
You see that? Perfect, right?
Okay.
So I go same side. I don't do opposite. I go same side. So now you can't do that. The only thing you have here is maybe Mma Plata, but it's very difficult. Now from here, I stand up. So even if you keep your guard closed, keep your guard closed. Yeah, I'm fine. Check this out. I'm gonna push at the knee down. And then we connect it to the same position.
Gotcha.
To come back this way.
Okay.
So I'll show that one
So
more
you're
time.
just standing up.
Just standing up, but I
Okay.
have to have good control,
Okay.
and it's got to be the same side.
Okay.
1, 2. If he decides to try to ankle pick me, grab my ankles. Well, that's like a waiter sweep. I'm still okay. Come back, grab my ankles like that. I'm gonna kick forward.
Okay.
I kick forward, now I'm fine.
Okay.
Because you cup this way, my foot is free that way.
Okay.
You felt that, right?
Gotcha.
So if they ever ankle, look, kick forward and back. I know, so simple.
It's so simple.
So the other thing though, if it's MMA, I have to be very careful. The reason I have to be careful is because as I come up, you can let go and up kick.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I have to be very careful. So this is what I do. I bait you. I come up, you open up your guard, I stay super low.
Okay.
And now I can start pushing that same approach to pass.
Gotcha.
I
Okay.
want to bait you to, but I follow. My center of gravity comes low, and I follow you.
Yeah, and you trap this right
I trap
away.
from knee shielding, right? So we'll do it one more time. We're having a long fight. It's MMA. We're here. I stand up. You drop. I stay super low. And now I can start. I go that side because I felt it open up.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
And if not, you're back in the guard. You know, in jiu-jitsu, it usually favors, if you're on top in the closed guard, it usually favors the bottom guy.
Okay.
You're in a bad position. In MMA,
Yeah.
I think it's the opposite.
yeah.
It favors the top guy.
You're losing points.
Yeah,
Sit in there. That's for one.
exactly. Unless your guard is, you know, badass and you're like this world champion, and the guy on top is not a good wrestler, because wrestlers usually have a good base, then the guy on top is favored because of strikes and because of gravity. Gravity is coming down. The only time it's 50-50 is self-defense, because you don't know. The guy on top might have good pressure, and the guy on bottom has good technique, but you don't want to be in a 50-50. I like to always be in an advantage.
Okay.
So those are 3 ways to open a closed guard. We all kind of use the same technique that we taught previously, and I think it works. It does work. You see a lot in competitions. You see it at the highest level, and you see it in some MMA matches.
Okay.
So anything else?
Nope, that's it.
That was good?
Yeah.
Awesome, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. 3 ways to pass the closed guard. Now you're going to see more of Marshall smashing and beating up these guys using these techniques. Hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, train hard all the time, guys. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.